Oh, all right, that wasn't it.
This is our first time doing it virtual.
Years.
Oh my. That's it. We're ready? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Parent and Caregiver Forum. This is the first time that we are doing this virtually. And for those of you who know me, you know I prefer in person, but this is, we wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to get together with our families and give you an update on our, on our current programs and what's happening there. Our, I don't need to see founder and CEO because I know that. No, I'm supposed to announce I'm the founder and CEO of TERI. But we wanted to give you an update on TERI's programs, especially during 2020 when it's been pretty chaotic, so that people are up to date on that, and talk about celebrating our 40th anniversary. So, and then of course we want to talk briefly about legacy as well, because securing the future for TERI's programs that have been created for your sons and daughters, if you're with us now, and for prospective families, are dependent on support from our families and the community. So to get started, TERI programs. I'll start with the chaotic times that we've been going through and give people just an overview of what we've managed to do here. It's really beneficial. We try to find the good in everything. So, the reality of TERI is we've become experts at facing challenges each and every day, and this has been a big long-term challenge. Our team has done a phenomenal job of keeping our programs up and operating. Our homes have been open this entire time. Our staff has done a phenomenal job of creating distance learning opportunities. They've just been creative in every way possible, and our finance and our administrative team have found ways to create financing opportunities that have provided ongoing open careers for all of the staff that work at TERI. So something a lot of companies can't say, we feel terrible for the companies out there in our community that did not manage to survive these times, or perhaps suffered greatly. I'm so proud of our staff at TERI that have managed to do what they've done. Our health results have been phenomenal as well. We have had no instances of the virus with any of our clientele, and a couple of mild cases with staff. So just some really great results, and a lot of the distance learning opportunities and programs that have been created here by our team during these changing times have long-term value. So that's been wonderful as well, as we work to grow our services and continue to educate more and more people, both nationally and internationally. These programs that we've created will help us do that long into the future. So great news there. Just to cover some of our programs for anybody that's new to us and isn't aware of everything TERI does, which happens often because we're quite comprehensive. The first program you see on the screen here is Choices for Adult Learning. We call it CAL, but CAL is the first and only program in the state of California that has opportunities for adults who have various challenging behaviors to be supported by 2 staff for every 3 individuals, and have a wonderful program that's, you know, largely community-based. It's been very successful. It continues to grow throughout time, and we're working hard to help other agencies be able to replicate that model. We're very proud of that program. Our Center for the Arts and Adult Education's been in place for many years now, and we have just grown that program and provided so many wonderful artists who have been joined our staff to help support our students. We've discovered wonderful talents in our students that many people never knew they had before. Some never did art before, and we discovered they had very special skills. Many of you probably own some of the arts and crafts that have been produced in our arts program, and if you haven't yet, you'll want to see them and make your choices because they're quite unique and very creative. Our programs there, we have a picture of the arts, but also in our adult education program, we have a wonderful music and performance department. Many of you have probably been to our annual shows that we do, our theater productions. Unfortunately, we aren't having one this year for obvious reasons, but we're gearing up to do at least a virtual theater presentation, and we're looking forward to the next time that we can have another full-on production. I always say that our productions are so unique and wonderful that no professional production could possibly compare. It's a great experience. Our non-public schools. We have 2 non-public schools, one located in San Marcos and one here in our Oceanside campus. And our non-public schools have again been in existence for decades. They came about because the schools came to us knowing that we were very successful working with behaviorally challenged students. And it started coming to us asking if we would help with various students that they had in their systems that they were failing with. So as a result, many years later, we have created our non-public schools, and we serve students from over 20 districts in the county of San Diego and Riverside, many students from Temecula, all over this county and beyond. Occasionally, LA and Orange send students to us. So just a little reflection of how specialized the schools are, and they have been incredibly successful. We don't fail with our students, and for many, this could be the first success after a long list of failures for the schools to serve them out in the community. And many students, we return back to their home schools, and many graduate out of our program to enter other programs that TERI operates, or jobs, etc., out in the community. We've had some who have actually graduated from our learning academy to our country school and moved on to college. So again, some beautiful success stories. People are moving across, families are often moving across the country to bring their kids to us to attend our schools. And that's true of our residences as well, many families these days. Our enrichment programs. So these are all programs that are not funded by the government, but we felt that all the programs that we have created are what truly enrich the lives of the clientele that we serve, all ages, of course. Our organic agriculture program came about as part of our fitness and health initiative that we launched close to 15 years ago. We are a fast food free, soda free company for our staff and our clientele. We've experienced phenomenal growth and progress with everybody who has participated in that. Our culinary program is part of that, and the culinary program at this time serves smaller quantity, is a small version of the Culinary Institute that we planned for the new campus, but we used our organic vegetables and produce in that program, and just building towards a more comprehensive program on our new campus. Equestrian, our therapeutic equestrian program has been around for over 32 years now, and previously located at Montgomery House property in Vista, one of our homes. The therapeutic equestrian program was built on the new campus in 2012. So for 8 years, it's been up and operating off of our new campus. We have seen, again, just beautiful instances of, we've had students who have spoken for the first time as a result of the therapeutic equestrian program. It improves their communication skills overall, improves their relationships with others and their ability to form friendships. It's just been a phenomenal program. I always recommend go visit it when you get the opportunity, because it's a wonderful experience. Resale has also been around for over 30 years. That's our, we call it Inspired Resale because it's our upscale resale shop. We, a couple of years ago, relocated it from its original location in Oceanside to here in Oceanside, just right down the road from our current campus. And the store provides vocational training opportunities for our clientele, and it also generates funds to help fund our programs. Performing arts I've talked about, and of course, vocational training. We are always working to provide vocational training opportunities, oftentimes for students who we serve who couldn't really access those opportunities elsewhere in the community. And when I talk more shortly about the Campus of Life and how that's coming along, you'll hear about the expansive vocational training opportunities that will be available there. And I said this is our first virtual, so if you see little signs that we have a glitch somewhere, that could be why. Our residential programs, and this is one of our homes that dressed up for Halloween this year. We had virtual parties, so the homes each celebrated, at their house, and with all sorts of supports and entertainment from our wonderful staff that have made all this possible. You see the guys wearing flags; those are not prison outfits. But the flags, we've really recently put an increased emphasis on patriotism. We're proud to be Americans here at TERI, and we recognize that we could do an even better job of helping our clientele learn more and more about what it means to be proud to be American. You'll see a beautiful flag up on our campus already, and we have another one here in front of our Performing Arts building, our Center for the Arts and Adult Education, and in the park. And you will soon see flags up at each of our homes and other locations as well. Residential, I did note, we have families that definitely move across the country to bring their sons and daughters to us. It's just another reflection of how huge the need is still in our community for so many different services of quality for people who have special needs in their families. So we have a waiting list of well over 100 families working to help create the homes that we need to be able to provide a home for their sons and daughters. And again, our goal is always to model quality and help other agencies replicate these services so that families don't have to move from the East Coast or Hawaii to TERI. It's wonderful that we can provide the service. It's not wonderful that we have waiting lists for every program that we offer. And so everything that we do here, the big picture starts with your sons and daughters, and then grows into all those families out there who don't have those opportunities. And the better job we do of meeting our larger goals here of being a venue where we can replicate our services, the less families will have to look up and make a decision to move across country literally to be able to access a quality program for their sons and daughters. Family support services. So these are our respite services. Previously camps were part of that. Now they've just been renamed because we have all sorts of recreational and support services for our families, both in-home and out of home. We have hundreds of families that we serve throughout Southern California. Again, always more to be served as we're able to expand, but waiting list there as well, of course. TERI's guiding principles. Decades ago, we looked up and decided it was time to formalize our guiding principles, which really have not changed over the years. When we did this, we thought at first, oh, we need guiding principles for our professional team of staff and guiding principles for the clientele that we serve. And as we were working on them, we recognized, well, there's no need for two sets of guiding principles. We need one set of guiding principles that applies to everybody. Just like I say, we're all on a number of spectrums. So that's what we did. We formed these guiding principles, and focusing on strengths is the first of those. Teamwork, of course. Respect, so critical to any interaction that any of us has with another human being. Communication is essential. We're an open door policy here, and communication is open and clear and supportive amongst our staff, amongst our clientele. We can't wait till more of our students have returned. Our students just started returning to our in-person learning in the last couple of weeks. We're thrilled to see them, and we can't wait till these buildings are full of all of our clients again, and students of all ages, because we all get to see them every day, and they feel free to come in and visit and chat and share their successes and celebrations. And so it's the greatest part of the work that we do here. Celebrating diversity, I think we're the model of diversity. TERI, just breathes diversity in every sense of the word, and we view every human being as of equal value. We tell our staff that. It doesn't matter if you've been here 40 years or you're starting your first day, you're a totally valued and equally valued member of our team. We want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear if you have new ideas. We know we haven't had them all yet, and we expect that you share in the same way with all of the students of all ages that you work with. Positive outlook. Why do it any other way? Critical. So, and I think all of you have been part of TERI know how true that is, that the outlook here is so positive. We're always looking to celebrate the strengths of people, to find their gifts and help them celebrate them. It's life-changing for all of our students, and I believe for our staff as well, as they work together on that kind of positive team. Choice is essential, and that's again true for all of our TERI family. Being fit for life, we literally have put being fit for life, health and fitness at the core of what we do. I view over these years that we've worked so hard on this that TERI is really a model of sustainability in every sense of the word. We are, living sustainably, eating and growing sustainably. We're building a new campus in green, and we will be giving all of our students an opportunity, especially on the new campus, to show to their community how they can bring value to their lives, help sustain their own lives, and contribute to a sustainable community at the same time. And we put the fun back in work. No question about that too. Everyone that comes to visit here, and if you haven't yet, you will certainly enjoy the experience. So please do as we're able to open things back up. But I've never heard a single person come in here to visit for their first time not say, wow, this place feels so different. Everyone's so happy. Everyone's so wonderful to each other. And we never want to stop hearing that, because that's the kind of place we want our students and staff to thrive in. Continuous quality improvement. TERI's mission has been to set quality standards of supports for people with developmental and other challenges since day one. It's vital to our mission to always be evaluating the quality opportunities that we offer to our entire TERI family, and we do in fact achieve continuous quality improvement by remaining dedicated to that as part of our mission. And we give back to the community, and I addressed that some already, but we definitely do. We work in all of our programs to identify ways that our students can learn to give back as well. So I believe that that's something all of us should do in life. And we recognized so many years ago that, you know, we were doing a great job of caring for and supporting our students of all ages, but you know, we weren't doing as much of teaching them to be part of giving back. So our students have done everything from write beautiful letters to returning vets or families of military personnel who are deployed. We go into nursing homes and take in theater and music troops, and it's endless what we do out in the community. And that's provided a great opportunity for our community to learn more about the value that every human being has, and how we find strengths in people and share our gifts with each other. So it's been a two-way street. It's been good for everybody. TERI's 40th anniversary, unbelievable. But we were established in 1980. We just had our formal anniversary in August. We're planning on pretty much celebrating it throughout the year, since 40 is a big year, a big milestone. Throughout that time, TERI has been recognized since our very early days. Our very first programs we opened, we were recognized by the state of California as a model program. And our goal throughout time, as we continue to expand our services to meet the needs of families and schools, et cetera, that were continuously coming to us, was always that each program was established to be a model of quality. And we are so comprehensive these days because of our commitment to quality, and our response to the community need has resulted in, of course, this vast array of programs that we operate. Who is Yvette Champagne? That's a little more emotional of a story. Not that it isn't all, sorry, I shouldn't do that one yet. Some of you might have heard before. Some of you may have heard me share the story of what my first inspiration was, what the very first experience I had that was my first lesson in people with developmental disabilities and the huge unmet need that was out there. So as a 17-year-old college student, I had a psychology professor who placed me with a 5-year-old little girl to work with her as part of my practicum in that class. And her name is Yvette Champagne. So Yvette, unfortunately, lived in the children's ward of the local state hospital. And when I went to meet her and then continued to work with her, that was my first exposure to the fact that we even had hideous places like state hospitals that we're warehousing our children with special needs in. And when Yvette was, had lots of challenges. She's quadriplegic, nonverbal, had epilepsy and cerebral palsy, and they did not identify what kind of intellectual disability she might have in addition, given her communications skills were undeveloped, and she had lots of limitations without the equipment we have these days, the more modern techniques of supporting people who are challenged to communicate. And the other part of that experience, that first experience, was you're looking up at all these children of various ages, poorly cared for, and recognizing that means their families were convinced this was the best that they could do for them. So that was my first experience that led over time to the creation of TERI and all the great work that this team has done together over these years. I thought that Yvette, given the terrible conditions she was living in, probably didn't survive to live a long life. And I actually have, throughout my life, told the story of Yvette, and I've always not felt good that I didn't find a way to rescue her. So a couple weeks ago, I got a call from I had a call on my calendar and I asked Ashlyn, who works with me, I said, their last name is Champagne and that's a vet's last name, you know, who are these people? And learned that it was a family member who had called, and she has an older brother who also thought that she had passed away many years ago because their mother claimed that's what happened. And he found me because he and his family discovered an article sharing an interview that was done with me about Yvette and how she impacted the trajectory of my life. And they were so grateful that I continued to share that story because they never would have found her otherwise. So they located Yvette, and she's alive and well. She's been in a group home that looks very nice. I'll be visiting soon in Michigan, which is where I grew up and where I had my relationship with Yvette. And she's been in that group home since 1989, so 31 years, and she's healthy and happy. They've nicknamed her the Brat, and we do things like that out of endearment, just as I'm sure most of you or all of you do with your families. And she's the Brat because she's found a way to get her way most of the time, it sounds like. So her family is having their reunion with her after 50 years of thinking that she was gone this Friday. It's tomorrow, yeah. And we're building our relationship. Wonderful people. They're so thrilled to find her. So we'll be meeting. I'll be visiting Yvette on my next trip to Michigan. And it was just a wonderful full circle story, and certainly a relief to me to know that there was a happy ending instead of the ending I anticipated happened with Yvette. More anniversary. I've talked about our mission and the fact that that's never changed, and it hasn't, because it was the, you know, that core doesn't change. And unfortunately, after 40 years, need hasn't changed that much either. There's actually more need in our community than there ever was. We've certainly, as an industry, made some progress, but nothing close to meeting the needs of families, nothing close at large to the kind of quality of service and supports that should be out there for people with special needs in their families. And as a result, we have, you know, in our beginning, recognized as a model by the state of California. We then began seeing people from across the country. Now, of course, families are moving here from across our country. And for many years now, we have been visited by many factions of people from countries around the world. So they are coming unsolicited. We're not advertising that we're here to help them replicate our services, which is pretty impressive, but also tells us how widespread that need is. And when we founded TERI and set our mission of setting quality standards, we also decided that we wanted to be a model, which we have been, that we could use that model to have a larger impact, as broad as possible, on people with special needs and their families. So the campus, as I do the update of this, is the venue that we've designed so that we can take that goal that much further and actually have a venue where we can bring these people from across the country and around the world in to learn about our model and give them all the supports they need to be able to go replicate these quality services. And the picture you're looking at, the Tom and Mary Tomlinson Vocational Center, is the next building that's going up on that campus. So our campus is 20 acres, for those of you who are new to us. And the equestrian program, our therapeutic equestrian program that's up and operating, occupies 2 of those acres. This Tom Tomlinson has been a long-term 20-year plus supporter of TERI. He passed away recently and made sure that he was leaving more gifts to help us complete the campus because he understood how critical it was. And he has provided $2.2 million towards the construction of this building. The vocational center will be starting, we've been grading and such, and the actual building will begin next week. So we're very excited. We're working to finish it as quickly as we can. We have a wonderful team working on this. So here's a picture of it. Isn't it beautiful? And again, we'll look forward. We'll be inviting people out to see this as it evolves. The center has a wonderful culinary program in it. We decided to have a whole commercial kitchen in this building as well. So it's going to be a venue where families, the community, clubs, etc., that can come and use those facilities. It's a business for TERI to support your students' programs, and wonderful training opportunities, most importantly, for all of our clientele, whether it's culinary or working in what you're looking at, the retail shop. It'll look better than that. That's a rendering. It'll be even more fun than that when we're done with it. Do you have the outside patio? Oh, here's some other shots. Sorry, different order. This is just a drawing that will show you what the entry to the campus will look like when it's completed. So that's all part of what's being worked on right now. The next is just some more conceptual, but the landscape architect has been fabulous. We've raised $23 million so far towards a program that will cost about $56 million. So we're out talking to the banks now about a mortgage so that we can complete the rest of the campus, and we'll be approaching fundraising as a means to retire that mortgage so that we no longer have to build phase by phase. So our goal is to have this campus complete within the next 3 years maximum. The vocational building will be complete and open mid next year. And at the same time, we have our permit has been down at the county for 8 months now for our next 2 buildings, which are the Fine Arts Building and the Performing Arts Buildings. Do we have pictures of those coming? Yeah, not so much, but just some more renderings that give people a feel of what the campus is going to feel like for our clientele. So those will be built next while we're doing the drawing and working to build the rest of the campus. So it's around the corner at this point. It's been a very long-term project, and anybody that's known us for a long time knows how much work and how much time has gone into this, but it was worth that kind of work and time for what we can do out of that venue. Outcomes, and let's see, are you looking at legacy now? Sorry. So securing your loved one's future. We look at this twofold. So we know that families are out, we always work with our families to make sure they have a special needs trust for their son or daughter. But we also work with our families and other supporters on legacy giving, because TERI needs legacy giving, successful legacy giving, to assure the programs are there to support your kids. So no matter what any family's capacity is to individually and without government help support their son or daughter, it's hard to do that without a good program there to help make sure that happens. And we have throughout the years always heard from parents that they're, without exception, what's their greatest fear? Their greatest fear is that their child outlives them and they have not been able to provide ongoing security and know that their child's future is a quality future and the happy future that they want them to have. So, the way that we can provide that is by having a successful legacy program that makes sure that the funds are there to support TERI's programs on an ongoing basis, and the funds are there to help support your son or daughter as well. So that's an active fundraising effort on our part, and we're there to support. You'll see our new TERI logo with the flag, so we've really infused it everywhere that we can. It's so important to maintain our freedoms and our ability to help support our clients and families throughout time. Questions and answers. And I have no idea what that is. Oh yeah, it's right in front of me. Okay. So that was fast.
Okay, so we have a
Sure.
question from Mary Ann Enstrom.
And she has a question, and it is, are there new volunteer opportunities available, either virtually or remotely or in person at TERI?
We have lots of volunteer options out there. They're more limited right now, obviously, because we're not through the flu season yet. But so we have restrictions, but there are plenty of both live, virtual, more challenging. But contact the front desk and they can direct you to help you explore those.
We also have another question.
Can people hear the questions? All right.
Are there new simple ways to give that are similar to Amazon Smile?
Simple ways to give. I mean,
Donate directly through our website.
yeah.
TERIinc.org.
Yeah. So if someone's looking for some feature of Smile, that's the best program out there as far as that type of design where you're actually buying something else and some profits come to TERI. And otherwise there's, countless ways to donate, but the simplest is of course through our website directly contributing.
And I have a comment from Stephanie, Dylan's mom. She said, I'm tearing up listening to your story about a vet. Thanks for sharing such a happy ending.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Your family has been just so wonderful to work with, Stephanie. I have to say that. And we love seeing Dylan when we get to see him too. Yeah. So looking forward to a bright future for him.
If you're having any problems locating the spot to put in your comments, it should be in the upper right-hand corner. It looks like a little chat bubble. Just type it in there and then we'll see it and Cheryl can answer your questions. Oh, we have a new question. Mm-hmm. What is the process for applying for residential housing?
So we actually, for residential housing, we have a form that's online. And then prior to the flu season, our process was that we actually have a meeting / an introductory session held at one of our houses with our director of residential services, where we invite a limited number of parents who are on the list to come and learn firsthand and see a home. Right now, that's not as possible, so we're modifying that, but feel free to contact our director of residential services or any of us and talk about your family member. I always like to make sure that families are clear that a waiting list to us does not always mean, for residential, does not mean that the first person on the list is the first person served for the following reasons. When we create a home environment, we're working to form a family that will be happy together. And so like any family or marriage, et cetera, that forms, right? Any relationship. So we look at two primary things besides how long has the person been waiting. We look first to, are they part of the TERI family? Because we've made a commitment to always support our TERI families first, because that's family. So if you've been in if your child's been in one of our schools, we've worked with so many families that have come to us as their kids are getting older, turning 18, 21, graduating out of school, and worked with them to create some beautiful homes. We also have homes that have clients who have lived with us for nearly 40 years now. One group of 6 men who live in Fallbrook together have lived together for this entire time. All of them came out of the state hospital system, and so a broad array. And we're always working to continually evolve our residential programs to meet our clients' needs as they change, as they age. So a lot of work has gone into that. Our commitment is to provide lifelong care in every way possible. So we're always working to do that, hence the making sure that our clientele can age in place and have the facilities to do that. So when we're looking, we look at that, we look at need, and then we look, of course, at the group of people who's going to live in the house. So they need to be compatible. And so it's, it's a comprehensive selection process, which means if you're far down on the list, it doesn't mean there's an opportunity, because your son or daughter could be one of those typically 6 people who work really well together, and that makes sense. And if we know that your need is tremendous, or perhaps even, even a crisis sometimes, of course, then that all weighs in too. So don't be discouraged when you see how many people are on the waiting list.
So we have another question. Our son Paul was able to come home this last weekend for the first time since COVID hit, which was wonderful. Are there any changes in particular going forward that would affect our kids coming home?
None that we have control over. So this is certainly, as I think everyone's well aware, what's happened in our world in the last 7 months. So there's plenty of it that hasn't been in control. And because we are licensed by various funding and government entities, we are subjected to whatever rules, regulations, procedures they dictate. So we do everything we can to be as creative as possible given those, but we're not in control of them. So right now, no, nothing's going to get in the way. We've been absolutely, as any restrictions that we've had on our residential clients visiting families, which was a terrible time for everyone I know. We hated it too. Had been imposed by others, not by us. We're doing everything we can at all times to get our families together.
And we have another question. What is the time frame for new residential homes? We have been on the wait list, and I am a single mom with cancer and am hoping for an opening or a new home soon.
So I wish we could just open homes as fast as everyone needs, but they're very expensive. And so our, more recent homes, which are many, we have 13. A family has just bought a 14th home to donate to TERI so that we can provide for their daughter and some others. But our homes, the creation of those is dependent on enough donations to fund the purchase of the home so that TERI can afford, those operations. But we'll certainly talk with you individually so that we can give you a more comprehensive answer to your questions about your situation, and wish you all the best with fighting your cancer.
And we have a message from Megan S. Hello, I am the clinical director for ABA for Hope Comprehensive Center for Development. We provide ABA in San Diego and Riverside counties. I am so excited to hear about all the programs you are offering. There are so many opportunities for the clients served, which allows for such rich experiences and learning. I look forward to referring families and watching these dreams come to fruition.
Oh, thanks so much. I look forward to meeting you. That would be great.
And we have a question from Bianca W. Is TERI interested in opening new homes to get some people off the waiting list faster?
We would absolutely do that. It really is fund driven. So one of our long-term goals for TERI, of course, is always we're looking at long-term sustainability. So, we intend to have this agency sustainable throughout time, and that a big key to that, like most families look at, is owning your home, owning the properties that you operate out of, being mortgage free. And our new campus will, once we pay off the size mortgage that we will end up taking out, we'll keep working at that. So that is mortgage free. Our homes are all owned outright, besides the one that will be donated. So they're all secured as well, and that's part of our ongoing goal. So we're not taking on mortgages and such because they're not affordable. The government funding is not adequate to already without a mortgage, let alone adding a mortgage in. So many of our parents, all possible, contribute to the ongoing sustainability of the homes and programs that their sons or daughters attend as well, and that's a critical part of TERI's funding. On the new campus, we designed in all sorts of our vocational training opportunities are part of some vibrant businesses that we're designing to operate on that campus for the community and everyone that wants to come in and be included as part of what we're doing there. And those are designed to help further support operations on an ongoing basis too. So that we can, it's always most desirable if you can use your donations to do new and wonderful things and not need them to support your ongoing operations. But we do both right now. So.
I have another question. What are the plans for residential clients to see families on Thanksgiving?
So if this, is this a family member? If you're a family member, you should have heard that visits are happening now. And so you should be able to visit. I don't know, we don't know at Thanksgiving time if we'll be able to have families into the home. So for our families that come and celebrate Thanksgiving in the home with sometimes some of our other parents where it's challenging to take them home, but they want to have the holiday together. We have some of that happens in some of our homes, which is great. I don't know that that's going to be available because we're not in control of that. But if anything we can do that we have been committed to over time, we will do.
I have another question from Anonymous. What government agencies have oversight and fund TERI?
So lots, unfortunately. Our homes are all licensed by the Department of Health, and some of their funding comes from Medi-Cal, some comes from fundraising, some comes from HUD. Our schools are funded with school funds, so individual districts sending their kids have a daily rate that they pay for their students. Unfortunately, you can't negotiate a rate that's adequate to cover the cost. So, but that's where their funding comes from. So that's Department of Education regulated. And our our programs like the Center for the Arts, our programs for our adults, transportation, for all ages, respite, those are funded with funds from the Department of Developmental Services. And those are the facilities are licensed by the Department of Community Care and Services. And Regional Center is the funder. So I think I covered all our funding.
I have another question, also anonymous. If something were to happen to TERI, what would happen to the residential homes and the residents who are living there?
Well, TERI's a corporation, so if it's not like if someone dies, TERI can't die. And we've done so much to make sure that we're secured throughout time, so we're continuing to work on that. As a nonprofit corporation, any nonprofit corporation where something happened or someone made a choice to discontinue business, then we're regulated by the government to turn our assets over to another nonprofit corporation. So that's my simplest answer, because it would be complicated. It's not something that we spend a lot of time on because we have no plans or anticipation that TERI is going to go out of business. And we worked 40 years to stabilize TERI. TERI's got a $23 to $25 million operating budget at this point and owns our properties besides these buildings that our day programs are in that will be owned when we move to the campus. So we're just always building securities, and family and community gifts to legacy are what help assure that during hard times.
I have another question from also anonymous. What criteria is needed to purchase a TERI home?
So our TERI homes, again, I've pointed out, we own them for a reason, lots of reasons, including quality control. We have these days, in the early days, we got grants that helped. We got some nice grants that helped us purchase many of the homes. All those grant sources have dried up. They just do not exist any longer, unfortunately. So now families are buying the homes. Sometimes one family, or many families could chip in, donating the home to TERI so that we know that that home is secure for everyone who's living there and that we have a program that can operate without a mortgage.
I have a question from Jen. I believe some of your residents create crafts and things for sale to help support TERI. Is this true? If so, where are they sold?
So we have crafts and art, both are created by our clientele and sold. So are organic microgreens sold to restaurants all over. We're open again, but not to the public yet in our Arts and Crafts Center. Our Inspired Resale Shop has some crafts on display, and soon you'll be able to see a lot of that online because we're going to start online sales of our arts and crafts as well. And as soon as we're open, you can come see beautiful displays. They're ever changing because they sell all the time. Our staff are even big buyers of the customers of the arts and crafts. And when we were having events, public, live events, our arts and crafts would also always be there for sale. But, and then when we're on the new campus, the sales would be right there on the campus. Our Fine Arts Center is 11,000 square feet. And it has all sorts of great opportunities. We've designed in beautiful studios where our students' artwork will be on display. And again, it sells pretty fast, so it's ever changing. Anytime you visit, you'll see new works of art.
Does anybody have any more questions at the moment?
Then we saved everybody some time. Thank you all for attending. We have selected a date for the next virtual parent forum, which is February 11th. And hopefully we can also have that live. We can do both, and we'll all hold our breath and wait to see what the answer is on that as time goes by and our government decides what we get to do next. Thanks so much, everyone, for attending. Next time, I hope I can say nice to see you.